Hello my friends and welcome to part 2 of the June 2023 Synchro Festival. I know it's over, but I still want to show you a few replays. And then after that, I'll also go through I'll also go through the Duel Trial. So I'm going to be putting it within the a Duel Trial playlist and and a Synchro Festival playlist, because like the Duel Trial ends really early too, so I just want to show you that while it's so fresh. Anyway, any new news that I need to quickly go over? Oh yeah, and while I'm looking through, please like, share, and subscribe. You can just read it if you want. I'm just gonna say my little spiel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and consider ringing that notification bell for regular content by selecting the bell and selecting personalized. I will notify you of the videos you like the most. You can select the bell and select all if you just want to be notified of all my videos, which right now is mostly Master Duel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Or you can select the bell and select none if you're only supporting me because you feel like a good person. Which, I mean, that's plenty helpful too, because I think subscribing is a lot of a bigger deal anyway. So anyway, there's just a few. Oh yeah, Duel Pass. I can show off the Duel Pass later. That's not too big of a deal. Since there's still 73 days left on it here. But you know what? Before I forget, I'm just gonna go through this mission here. I'm just gonna get this before I forget. So this is for that proficiency test. It's a new protector. It sucks that you can't put this within the Duel Trial. I don't think you can change the sleeves, because this would be great for the Duel Trial, since this is like one of those, since this is also within the Duel Trial loaner deck, which I'll be showing off, but I don't think you can, which kind of stinks. There's some other missions that I got completed, so it looks like I finished all the dailies at least. So yeah, I got quite a few replays I'm going to show you that I think is pretty cool. So first of all, and this isn't in necessarily any specific order, I just think like these are like the best moments. So this one, I think this is where I was using the Resonator, and I think this was pretty cool because I was able to completely bypass my opponent activating Maxx and I OTK'd them through it, which was pretty crazy. I'm not even sure if they had a Nimbio or not. Yeah, but they were playing Ghoti. I'm pretty sure this is a non-loaner deck Ghoti. I think they kind of messed up because they could have gone for a Synchro Summon, but for some reason they didn't. So yeah, here you go. And then they're chaining Maxx because why not? And I just got super lucky by getting like a pretty good hand, and also they didn't destroy the Resonant Destruction. So I'm getting, and the cool thing about Resonant Destruction is it's not once per turn, so I can just destroy both of them. And the cool thing about Red Rising is it's also not once per turn, as you'll see. Yeah, but this one got me the Wondering, which was probably a really good pickup there, because that will just let me spell summon it while I control a Fiend anyway. And now that I only had one Dark Dragon, I was able to go for 2 more Resonators. And then I was able to go into Hot Red, going into another Red Rising because it's not once per turn, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, and then going for level 9. Just in case I need to set up a negate, but as you'll see, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, and Chaos Roll, I just got to spell summon it via its effect by banishing a Light and a Darks. And it gained attack, I forget how, but yeah, pretty sweet. And all the cards that they had in hand, I thought that was a really cool replay. And that was when I was like trying to finish off the Synchro Summons for that one mission. So I was able to easily finish off the Synchro Summons at the same time. And then this one. I think, oh yeah, this is one, I think maybe of me playing Ghoti. Oh yeah, I think in this one, I pulled off something special. Oh, I think maybe in this one I pulled off like a double synchro summon of that of the boss Ghoti that banishes everything. This one, but maybe not. Oh no, I think what it was, I forget the special thing that happened here. But yeah, I'm doing a few of the Ghoti plays, banishing a few cards. I forget what special thing happened here. What is my opponent playing? I don't even know. But yeah, I decided to do Ghoti Chain to make the Harpy's Feather Duster pretty much mute. And then I got the Ghoti. Oh, and I guess that also, this is Nibiru is kind of a way to counter the level 10 Ghoti, because even though, oh, I know what was happening here. Yeah, Nibiru kinda counters a level 10 Ghoti, because even though it still banishes everything, since it isn't getting banished itself but being tributed by Nibiru before it gets banished, it just yeah, so hold on. It won't be able to special summon itself again, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the cool thing that happened in this store was I was able to finally bring out the Superancient, and then I just brought out a whole bunch of monsters, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I use that to bring out Trishula, banish them because they don't get their effects when they're banished, only when they're destroyed. And I'm not just destroying them, I'm simply banishing them. Or maybe it's when it's banished, destroyed and banished, but they still have to be destroyed, and I'm not doing that. See, that was cool. That was the only time I was able to bring out the Superancient, so I thought that was really cool. Really cool play there. And I think this might have been the time where I was able to pull off a cool thing with one of the continuous Ghoti traps, where I was able to pull off the Synchro Summon on my opponent's turn without having to use anything by having enough banished fish. And so that was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, so it was Ghoti Cosmos is what it was. I was waiting until I could get up to 8 so I could like show off the biggest one, the special summon a fish synchro, and its tree has a synchro summon, so we'll pocket synchro summon effects. And I use that to bring out Ghoti of the Deep Beyond for yeah, but my opponent's playing the Sword Souls. So yeah, I'm bringing out the White Ore to destroy their attack. But they were able to bring out the Kurikar anyway. Kind of crazy how much base stats it has for being level 1. And it can just grow even more. But even its base stats are kind of ridiculous for a level 1. See, I'm negating the Ash, so I can still send something off of the Lifeless, which I think was the shift, so I could get more banish. I got up to 6 so far, so I need 2 more in order to get the Synchro Summon off of the Cosmos. But as you'll see, I was able to get there, so that was pretty cool. That was the first time I was actually able to do that. So these are kind of like more rare plays, is kind of what I'm showing you right now. And once again, of course, my opponent's playing a non-loner deck, and I was still able to win, so that's pretty cool. So these decks aren't, I don't think the loner deck's actually too bad. I am also showing you that they can win multiple times against not necessarily loner decks. So I think they have gone much stronger, despite what people may say. I think this proves it. So yeah, now I'm able to... But I forgot that Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, even though it does gain all of that attack, I forgot that it can't. I didn't realize that it can only banish everything during the if it syncs summon during the opponent's turn, which is what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, and also this is the double banish too, so I was able to special summon both of them because they don't have to be, because they just simply need to be banished. So now I have two 6,500 Synchros on the field, which is kind of crazy. So also there's that. But the bigger thing was definitely the being able to get the last effect of the trap for a quick effect, banish everything. That's crazy. Anyway, here's the next replay. I think this is of a different loner deck this time. Or maybe it was a my deck. We'll just see. Yeah, this is a my deck. The cool the cool thing I want to show off this time is I think this was showing off me going into the level 8 Accel. I didn't do it with the side frame gear yet, but I was still able to bring it out, and I was able to show you like that, like I was able to go into another synchro, or maybe this wasn't the time, but I know there was a replay where I showed that off. So at least I showed off a little bit of Accel Synchro's power, even though that's not like the kind of line I wanted to show exactly. I did still show off a little bit of power. So yeah, now I'm bringing out the Dark Magician and then banishing once a turn whenever I special summon the Dark Magician, which is pretty cool. Call by the Grave, they just banished the Magician's Soul, so I just went with a different card instead. And then drawing a card, Chaos Form, going for the Illusion of Chaos, pretty cool. So now I can just negate a monster if I need to by putting it back into my hand. I think it negates and destroys. Does it negate and destroy? No, it just negates. But it does special summon a Dark Magician as well. So yeah, I was able to get rid of the field spell before they could actually activate it. So that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, I did bring out the Accel in this one. So yeah, I was able to go for 2 Synchros. And one of them is just an Omni Negate. So yeah, at least I was able to show off a little bit of that new Synchro. Not the line I was exactly going for. I still want to I mean, maybe I can still show off the side frame gear gamma, side frame plus side frame driver play, go into that, and then special summon back the gamma to go into the Barone. Maybe I can still show off that at some point, but I'm at least glad I showed off a little bit of that synchro, because it's the first time I think I brought it out. Oh yeah, and that Assault Synchron is actually really good because you just like special summon it. It's kind of crazy. You just pay 700 life points and special summon it. So it's basically a free tuner you can bring out. So all you need is like a non-tune, and then you can go for like some synchro lines. So I decided I would try to get a few of those, and so far I have one. I forget what this is showing off, but yeah, I think I'm making good time, so I think I should be able to show off the Duel Trial stuff as well within this video too, because I still think it's like 20 minutes. I still haven't even hit the 20-minute mark yet, and I can go like at least 60 minutes if I need to, but I want to a little bit under 60 minutes. I'm trying, and I think I should easily be able to do that. So I forget what I'm showing here. Maybe this is more of just a regular duel where I won with the Dark Magician. Not really showing off any cool lines, just showing another way to win. See, I don't really go into my synchros a lot, but I still win. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and this is a pretty easy deck to go for. I mean, this was a pretty easy deck to go for the Synchro Festival, as I say again. Because, like, most of these cards came from the structure deck. I'm telling you. So, yeah, now I'm going for the Chaos form, but they just banish one. But I'm still able to go for it anyway, so. Yeah, now I just negate it. So I do kind of show off something new. Show off, like, the power of that ritual negation. It's pretty cool that it returns itself to the hand, so I can, like, activate its first effect. Yes, I was able to bring out both. I was able to banish... Oh, I think because of the Dark Magical, I banished the Synchro, and then I, like, destroyed the other one by battle. That sucks. Just a Dark Hole whenever it's special summon. Well, except itself. It destroys everything but itself. Yeah, but I got the Call by the Grave, so they were trying to do something. They were trying to negate something or something, but, like, I just, like, banished them. See, that's one of the issues. Like, if you, like, tribute themselves to try and negate it or disrupt, you can just Call by the Grave that monster and then it, like, negates. And they lose a monster on the field too, so. But, I mean, that's probably the best line, because if your opponent doesn't happen to have Call by, it's pretty good. But, of course, they only had that one monster to tribute anyway. Anyway, I think this is showing off something new. Is this... Hopefully this isn't the same one. Is this the same? I forget what replays I already showed off. Hopefully not. Oh yeah. This is the Owner's Seal deck now. So yeah, I think this is just showing off a win with the Owner's Seal. Nothing too special. So there's the first 20 minutes, but I still think I'm making good time. Oh yeah, here I thought, yeah, I guess it's kind of special because instead of, like, really necessarily needing the Kaiju, I didn't really need that. So I went for Leech and Light to, like, so I didn't really need to use the Kaiju because I could have just targeted the Blue Eyes since that happened to be a Light as well. But I did the Kaiju anyway. And then I ended with the Owner's Seal, and that was a lot of damage. So yeah, they tried to disrupt me a little bit, but it didn't even matter. I still won. Okay. What is this a replay of? Oh yeah, and I think these are just regular wins with all the lone index. So these aren't really anything too special. But I'll still show them off to show multiple wins with each deck, I guess. Except, I guess, with the Owner's Seal. Oh, this is... I didn't show off the Icejade yet anyway, so that's good. So yeah. I don't really play the Icejade deck a lot. I was mostly only playing the other two decks multiple times because I was trying to get some Synchro summons with them. And then I decided I think the Red Resonator would probably be the easiest one to get Synchro summons with. Because with that deck, I can just Synchro summon on my turn a bunch. Yeah, they brought out the Draco Berserker. Oh yeah, once again, this is not a lone deck. So, showing that. So I guess this is supposed to be Ghoti with Draco Berserker included. Which is a pretty good level 8 Synchro. Like, this is not a bad Synchro. It's actually kind of fun Oh yeah, this is kind of showing off that like it was kind of difficult because like Draco Berserker had a bunch of attack, but it's also kind of showing off the power of this combined with this, because like they lose 1,000 plus they lose extra attack with the field spell, so that's pretty cool. I was able to eventually bring out the Draco, beat out the Draco Berserker, even though it had really high attack at first. I was never able to like basically compulse it because it really had really high attack, but I was eventually able to beat over in battle, which was still pretty good. And then this is the next one. I think this might be Ghoti's. This is either the Ghoti or the Red Resonator. I think one of the problems that people didn't really like about Red Resonator is that a lot of the times you can brick, which, yeah, like I think there was one where I bricked pretty badly. I wasn't really getting a Resonator, and also like in maybe in some circumstances, if they like just negate like one Resonant call, like you may not have like had anything else good, so that may be enough. But I was trying to bait out a negate here. They didn't take it, but then I did Raigeki anyway. And they had to negate that one, or else the Synchro would just be destroyed. So now I don't have to worry about the negate, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's the Chaos Ruler once again. I didn't spec summon it back out though this time. Maybe I should have, but I guess I wasn't really thinking about that. So yeah, I decided to bring out the level 12, so now they can't activate anything at this point, so they can't stop me from doing anything really. I wonder... honestly, I think I might have been able to bring out the Chaos Ruler, but I guess I didn't realize about its graveyard effect. If I would have, I probably would have just been able to have games since they weren't able to activate anything. But I still won, so that's cool. Oh yeah, and then here's the one that is a quick effect synchro that I just happen to have. But I didn't even use it because they weren't even really doing too many spectacular plays. Oh, and this is also the one. This is also pretty cool because this is the deck that inspired me to try out Dark Magician, like for myself. So that's pretty cool. You got to see the deck that inspired me to actually play Dark Magician for myself. And then here's the last replay. And this should be with the Ghotis. And if you have any like questions concerning any of the replays, I can feel free to answer them in the comments. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. And I'm hoping I can like be explaining this well enough. I'm not always the best when it comes to explaining things. Yeah, I got the Ghoti Fury, which I ended up not even using, but that doesn't matter. Because I'd much rather get the board wide banish anyway. Even if I can't activate all of my traps, I was still able to do the Ghoti chain. I mean, it's going to banish itself anyway, but like, at least with this, I was able to bring another monster out before the Ghoti chain would be banished. So yeah, I think this is Loner versus Loner this time. Maybe? Yeah, I think this is Loner versus Loner. So another pretty cool thing about it. But I was able to win pretty easily. So apparently, out of all the replays, that was the only one I had that was Loner versus Loner. Yeah, and then I think this was the one. Yeah, I want to see if my opponent actually had the Nabil. If I got lucky, they didn't even have it. No, they didn't even have the Nabil. So all they had was the... So yeah, this is definitely not, Oh yeah, this does seem like a pretty popular deck too, where they also use Supay. A lot of these, like, Ghoti, or maybe just people in general, they like playing this deck to, like, spec summon this and also spec summon this Supay to, like, go into a pretty much free synchro that way as well. Not sure what Supay they bring out, but maybe they're just bringing out 2 copies of the card. I don't know. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so now, before I show off the replay for the tryout duel, I'm gonna actually go over the Duel Trial a little bit. So here's the Duel Trial. So once again, it's another shot at earning the pack, which I'm gonna show you later because that's not too important. Yeah, I will show you that the event info. So yeah, basically what this event is all about is to give you loaner cards. I think it's just a normal Forbidden Limitless, but it's still kind of a restriction because, like, instead of giving you like a Forbidden Limitless, what they're doing is they're giving you like loaner deck cards that you can't get rid of. And so since this deck is all about coin tosses and dice rolls, they're giving you a bunch of coin toss and dice roll effects. It's kind of confusing based on the description, but like that's basically what they're doing is giving you a bunch of coin toss and dice effect cards. Like monsters, spells, traps, X-deck monsters. But they give you a little bit of room. They give you, if you want to keep it at 40 in the main deck, they give you 10 additional slots to put whatever you want in. And then in the X deck, they give you a total of 3 slots to put in extra cards. So I was thinking, and I eventually came to a conclusion that, hey, Nightmares happen to be fiends, so Nightmares may not be too bad. And they're also pretty pretty easy to bring out, while also happening to be fiends. So it makes the Master King maybe a little bit easier to bring out. And then also Wallow. I'm going for Wallow since I'm playing Bestials, and I have a few other level 6, but mostly it's going to be the Bestials that I use to bring it out. Because I probably won't be going into the musical sumo dice games. A few kinda other cool strategies I was thinking about myself, or maybe I ran into, was some guy was playing with Dogmatica Punishment, which basically keeps you from going into X deck, but you probably aren't going into X deck a lot anyway, because a lot of these X deck cards aren't really going to be that good, and like having only room for 3x of monsters is probably not a big deal anyway, but it does allow you to at least put in a few cards that actually give you an effect. So it gives you space for like a Natis, maybe like the Adignista that can like shuffle its or banish itself, I think, to shuffle a card the opponent controls back whenever they try to disrupt one of your plays. Or I think it's like, I forget, the Adignista unicorn guy that like shuffles a card back. I forget its whole effect, but I think it's whenever a monster you control is destroyed or something. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then maybe if you want to like go for like something with a graveyard effect, like maybe you could go for like an Albaz graveyard type effect if you're playing some of those. So yeah, I think Dogmatica Punishment is pretty cool, but I decided to go with this since like I saw someone playing Bestials and I thought, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And also I think it's pretty cool because it kind of gets around Time Wizard. because like after they use the Time Wizard effect, I at least still have Bestials in my hand to like special summon after they do their Time Wizard thing. That may be like so like maybe for like a few surprise summons. Yeah. Also, if you could also just simply put in extra draw power cards if you want to try to make your deck a little bit more consistent, but you probably do want to add a few extra monsters, because like without these extra monsters, like you have like what, I think it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They give you 15 monsters, so you probably do want to have something in the line of monsters. The idea I was thinking of, which like gives you monsters and draw power, is dangers. So maybe you could go with dangers as well. I don't think it matters too much, since getting to 3 wins is probably not going to be too tough no matter what deck you play. But I think definitely want some kind of monsters that like are easy to normal summon. I also was thinking another fun way you could do this is like with the Maleseverus, since they make it a little bit easier to get like extra bodies on board, and they're also fiends. So that's another way you could like go with the Master King, because they're also fiends, and then you can like send them to the graveyard, and then maybe like use others to like bring them out from the graveyard. Like this one can help you bring some of them out from the graveyard. This one can also help you to bring some of them out from the graveyard. I'm not sure how good that is, but it's definitely more fun, I think. Yeah. And then if you really want to try to like get a little bit more consistency on the dice rolls or the coin tosses, you could also try playing that second coin toss, or yeah, second coin toss, to basically give you an extra try at a coin toss that doesn't necessarily go in your favor. Or you could also run that 6, which like can help get you more favorable results for your dice roll by like changing the results of them around. So I mean, if you run 3 of each, like that would already be 6, and then if you put the rest of monsters, like that will get you to 19, which I think is an okay amount of monsters. And I'm running Pod of Prosperity as a way to like help up my consistency just a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna share my reasons of why I'm playing the ratios. I'm of course playing one of each of the Druid Swarm and the Magnum up, because I can only play one of each. I would definitely run more copies if I could, but I can't, so I just decided to slot in Sirenius to kind of help out the ratios a little bit more, to make sure I had plenty of Bestials. Sirenia is nice because it can help put Lubellion in my graveyard. I'm only running one Lubellion because it's pretty easy to get in my graveyard with Sirenia, or add it to my hand with Magnemite. And then once it's in my hand or graveyard, I can just easily special summon it out by tributing off one of my other Bestials, and also get one of my branded continuous spells or traps at the same time. Which I happen to have at least one copy of each of these anyway, so that's pretty nice. So I'm just running one copy of each of the branded continuous spells and traps. So yeah. This one is kind of nice because it can also like help bring out the others once again. And also has that destruction effect. I think out of the 3, this might be the weakest, because like because this only really works like this only helps protect your Bestials. It doesn't really, it's kind of more specific negation, which I don't always necessarily like, but it is a card I can bring out with the effect. So since I can like place on the field with the Lubellion, I figure I might as well. Regained is nice though, because like this can help put back some of my banished cards. Maybe it can be a way to also put back the Libellion if my opponent happens to banish it. Maybe I should be running more Libellions, but I thought like one it's fine. If it happens to get banished by Abyssal, then that sucks, but like maybe it's okay because I still have my other Abyssals like as well. Like it's not that hinging on this like always being able to come out. Anyway, and they also happen to be level 6s, so if I really wanted to, I could also use them as Ixie material for the musical sumo, but I'm probably most likely going to be using as material for Wallow instead, since this is less random. Yeah, this is pretty nice because it can like maybe special summon something, or set something like that's like so it can give me like another one, like one of their back row cards, which is pretty nice. Or like, and also like setting it face down is also kind of nice if I'm like taking a dice draw from the graveyard, so I can still get flip effect. And I kind of already explained why I'm doing these. Like they also act as nice destruction, and if I happen to be able to get co-links, like maybe I could get extra draws in my draw phase, and like my link monsters actually co-linked, can't be destroyed at battle. So a little bit of benefit, but mostly it's there for destruction and also because they're fiends if I ever want to go into massacring. Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. I guess I could talk about some of the other cards that like are just auto included. Time Wizard. It's a way to destroy stuff. So they at least have like, so even without including cards, you do have like ways of destroying opponents' cards, either both for the front row and the back row, and some can potentially destroy multiple cards if you're lucky. Dice Jar. This could potentially inflict a lot of damage, so it could be useful for closing out games, though it could also kill. You could also end up accidentally killing yourself if you're unlucky. Thunderball. It's pretty nice because it can special summon itself like whenever anything battles, so it doesn't have to be one of your monsters that battles. You can just special summon this on your opponent's turn if one of their monsters battle, which is pretty cool. And then it's another way of like potentially destroying stuff, monsters, but it really only destroys one monster, which kind of stinks. I mean, I guess if they have like both an X-Deck monster in the X monster zone and a monster below that, like maybe you can sometimes get 2 destructions, but usually it's just 1. Snipe Hunter is pretty nice, but it does cost you some card advantage, which does kind of stink. Although with the bestials, it does help get you potentially lighter docks in your graveyard. And that's also another reason why bestials are kind of nice, is because like you do have ways of getting cards in your graveyard, and you also have quite a few light and or dark monsters to play around with. So like whether it be your own or be your opponent's. Arcana Force 26 or 24, I think this is. If you can bring it out, like, I guess it's kind of nice. It's not really that big of a deal effect. So you probably don't really need to even. Though it is nice for like making sure you don't for making sure you can live another day. That's probably the more useful effect. It's hand effect. And then Orgoth is pretty nice. I mean, if you can get two results, 2 of the same results, or if all 3 were the same, you could like get a really nice like set of effects on your hand. As the drawing 2 is especially nice, which I was able to get off. So yeah, but like simply like he can gain a lot of attack and defense, and if you even like bring him out like more than once, if you have more than one of these on the field, you can just activate them all since it's not a hard once per turn, which is pretty cool. It is pretty good for helping to close out games, also for helping to get over other opponents' monsters that happen to have big attack potentially. Also, maybe a pretty good counter to himself if he can get into high enough attack, since he does keep the attack. No, until the end of the opponent's turn, so it keeps it for kind of a while. Cup of Ace, potential draw effect. Summon dice. Pretty nice set of effects. You kind of want to act, if you can, try to like only activate this if like any, like no matter what effect you're getting, it'll still be useful. You can still actually like get it. Like, so maybe don't necessarily activate this when you don't have any monsters in your graveyard, or when you don't have like anything in your hand that you can actually normal summon. If like you're like banking on just one of the effects, maybe like try saving it for later if you can, unless you're in a pinch where you really need to activate it. But I think like if you're in that position, it'll probably be late game, and you'll probably be able to like make use of any of the effects anyway. So this is probably one of the lesser random cards. Dimension Dice. This is like an easy way to bring out Orgos, so it's pretty cool. It can also bring out Snipe Hunter if you have like maybe a lot of cards in hand, and you need to get rid of a lot of stuff on your opponent's side of the field. Or maybe even bring out Time Wizard if you're trying to get lucky with destroying their field of monsters. Dice Dungeon. It adds you a Dimension Dice at the same time, so that's pretty nice. But like this could potentially like also help you with survivability, and also like maybe help with like closing out a game. Maybe if you can, if you just need your monster to have a little bit more attack in order to get the to get game. But yeah, the thing about this is like I think even though it's kind of worded like how it is, I think like only the player who controls it can actually activate their own copy. So if you want to activate this yourself, you need to have one yourself. But like you can activate this during either player's battle phase, so that's pretty cool. Dice Foon can potentially destroy at least one or two spells or traps. If you can get the two, that's pretty cool. The Paths of Destiny, a little bit more burn. Fairy Box, a little more potential burn, I should say. Fairy Box can also help with survivability. Head Judging can help with like maybe if you're lucky, a negation effect, but it also can steal a monster too. So that's pretty cool if you can get. It's kind of dangerous to activate effects while head judging, because like that steal is kind of annoying. And then you just take it for yourself, and you don't even have to give it back either. It's not even until the end of the turn or anything. And then Crazy Box. I'm not sure what happens if this was to be destroyed though. I don't think the monster would need to be given back. Crazy Box can't attack, so that kind of stings. But if you get a 4, you can basically like negate this card's effect, so it can. It does have a few interesting effects to it. But the half of your life points is kind of crazy, especially if you had like full life points. You're suddenly down to 4,000. But maybe not like when you don't have like a really big amount of life points, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Or if you're in a pretty good position, maybe like the having life points isn't that big of a deal either. And then Musical Sumo, basically it goes around the board. You're probably not going to be like winning a lot with this, and it could potentially make your opponent win. And then Lucky Straight, gain extra life points, and maybe if you're lucky, you can get one of these nice effects. And then Master King can potentially help revive your fiends when you send them to the graveyard. Which you do have a few fiends. Snipe Hunter and Thunderball. And maybe you could like add more if you really wanted to. Also, it could potentially maybe revive your nightmares if you're playing, or like any other like X deck fiends. I think it can also maybe revive it. No, I don't think so. I think you would have to have another one if you like are hoping to revive itself. If you have two and one destroyed, you'll be able to potentially revive it or add it back to your X deck, since you can't add it to your hand if it's an X deck monster. So actually, like this can help like recur your your other X deck fiends if you're planning to play other X deck fiends too. Since it doesn't just have to be like main deck fiends. So anyway, and it basically has like a fairy box kind of effect where you're either paying 5 life points or destroying this card. Oh, but it also will. But the paying life points will also trigger its own effects, so that's interesting. And you can potentially maybe get this effect 2 times in a turn, maybe, if you're also paying for fairy box. Huh. So maybe you could also play other cards that like have you pay life points maybe as well, if you want to. But I don't think it works if you like pay life points for a solemn card. I don't think it would work because that would be a counter trap, and I think it would miss timing in that case because that has to be once per chain. So yeah, you won't be able to do that because you can't like chain anything to a counter trap. So it won't work with the solemns, but maybe like non-counter traps that you pay life points for if you want to like add any of those. Not that you really need to. Anyway, but yeah, there's probably a lot of different ideas you can do, even more than the ones I suggested. So I'll show off the matches. Maybe I could even show off my danger idea. This was also kind of the place where I got the idea to play the Bestials. Yeah, but I kind of whiffed on the first danger effect. And at least the Bestials don't really whiff as much. So that's something. But, I mean, the dangers can be pretty fun. See, I whiffed on that. I decided to play the Chupacabra as well, since that also happens to be a fiend. And some of my dangers will help to give me the correct levels for some of my exceeds. Like the level 7s will help give me the correct levels for the Lucky Straight. So maybe if you want to go into the exceeds more often, maybe the dangers aren't too bad. But my opponent just destroyed my whole board, and I wasn't really able to do much. Yeah, and I said, I'm in a pretty bad position. Maybe I should just give up. As you'll see, I quickly give up. I activate that and I give up. But it was cool because it helped give me the idea that maybe I should play Bestials instead. And so that's what I play against this person. And this one was actually more of an intense one. I could have ended it earlier, but I kind of want to show off a little bit. Like, show off, I guess, the power of the field spell. I didn't mind. But eventually I was in a really bad position. I had to leave it up to chance. But luckily, it did good for me. Oh yeah, and occasionally your opponent's not even going to want to attack with Fairy Box up. So I was able to... So sometimes you can even stave off an attack if you're lucky. Which I was able to have happen. I brought down an attack because I was thinking if they do attack and I get lucky, this can be sort of battle, but they decided they didn't want to attack. but now I have to deal with the 3700. I didn't realize it was until the end of, at the end this turn, it would go back down. So I think I was like basically trying to destroy it. So yeah, I wasn't able to keep the Lubellion, but that's okay because I had a lot of other cards in my hand. So yeah, this was able to get a card in my hand. But yeah, really any of the effects would have been useful enough because I did have a monster in my graveyard, I had a monster I could gnome summon, and I had a monster I can special summon from my hand. So any of the effects would have been fine. So yeah, now I'm just destroying all of them. And it turns out it was good because they both happen to be Mirror Force cards that would have sucked for me. But I mean, I would have been able to have other monsters. I probably shouldn't put all my resources down. Should have probably kept this in my hand. Oh yeah, they're also playing Pot of Extravagance. They're playing Pot of Desires and Extravagance, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly also play Extravagance too, since you're probably not too worried about banishing cards from the X deck. One, because you probably don't care about most of them, and two, because you're just playing a lot of duplicates anyway. Yeah, so they were able to get lucky with the Time Wizard. I was thinking, oh man, is this gonna... And am I gonna lose because I commit all my resources when I shouldn't have? I probably shouldn't have in any case, because Time Wizard can be a little bit of a threat. I mean, sure, it's random, but if they get it and you're out of resources because of it, it does really stink. But I got lucky with the Cup of Ace, which got me good cards, and then I got lucky with the Time Wizard, which is pretty nice. Yeah, but also now I'm just kind of showing off the power of this. Like, if you get lucky, you could potentially deprive the opponent of getting game. I mean, I had like the Serenade too that I could have put down, but I'm just kind of showing this off. I mean, I was thinking if they don't get the right number, I would just win. So I kind of just want to show that off. Like, just show off the field spell for a little bit here, because I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, this is going to be the last replay. I'm going to have to end it. I'll just say the outro now. So, as always, I'll leave the thank yous within the description, as well as the Bible verse within the description. And I'll leave the discussion in a pinned comment. And I'll try to get to all of that before the end of the week. But as a quick thank you for everyone who did stay for any of the replays. Stayed for the deck overview I went through with the Duel Trial, or the replay I showed with the Duel Trial. But yeah, once this finishes up, so now that that's finished up, bye everyone, I hope you enjoyed.